Hi, Room 10. We are starting a whole new math unit all about shapes. And the first kind of shapes we are going to be working with are two-dimensional. Let's all say that. Two-dimensional. And what two-dimensional means is flat shapes. Shapes that I can write on a whiteboard. Shapes that I could draw on a piece of paper. And there are different kinds of two-dimensional shapes. There are some shapes that are like this, that are open shapes. So see how it doesn't close off? But then there are also closed shapes. And we are going to be talking about closed shapes. Two-dimensional closed shapes. So I'm going to get my bigger whiteboard out, and we're going to move right into our first part. So here we go. I'm going to draw a shape, and I want you to think in your head what this shape is. Could look like that. Might look like that. What's the shape? Say it on the count of 4. 1, 2, ready, go. That's right. This is a rectangle. How many sides does a rectangle have? Let's count. That's right. A rectangle has 4 sides. How many corners does a rectangle have? Let's count. That's right, a rectangle has 4 corners, but we are going to use a special math word for corners. We are not going to call them corners now. We are going to call them vertices. Let's all say that. Vertices. And vertices means more than one. Each individual corner is a vertex. That means one, that's singular. Plural is vertices, more than one. I'm going to erase the vertex because we don't need that right now. So a rectangle has 4 sides and 4 vertices. And notice that how all of those vertices are nice square corners, so that you couldn't like do something like this and say that that's a rectangle. That would not work. Those are not squared corners. Okay, now our next shape that we're going to talk about. Now this drawing is not going to be perfect. Please forgive me. Okay, yeah, see, it's not perfect at all. Okay, think in your head, what shape is this? On the count of 4. 1, 2, ready, go. That's right, this is a square. How many sides does a square have? Let's count. That's right, a square has 4 sides. How many vertices does a square have? That's right, a square has 4 vertices. And look at, just like a rectangle, all of the corners, all of the vertices, are squared. They're nice and even. So a square is actually a type of rectangle. But what makes a square special? Think for a moment. That's right. The difference between a square and a rectangle is a square has all sides are the same length. I'm going to run out of room there. Oops, barely squeezed it in. So a square is actually a special type of rectangle. It's a rectangle because it meets 4 sides versus 4 vertices, square corners, but it's got that, but all sides are the same length. So we are going to have a job to do today, but one more very fancy word that I want to teach you before we go on to this, and this is actually more of a 5th grade word, so just bear with me. I'm going to set this down. Any shape, a square or a rectangle that has 4 sides is a very special thing. It's called a quadrilateral. Let's all say that word. Quadrilateral. And anytime you see quad in a word, that's going to mean 4. So squares and rectangles are both quadrilaterals. And you are going to have a job to do today. You are going to be going on a hunt around your house for squares and rectangles, for quadrilaterals. So you have two choices here. You could either use your composition book and just take a page from that, or you could use another piece of paper. Now I have it on clipboard because I'm going to be moving around. And what I would like you to do with this is you're going to make what's called a T table or a T chart, which means you just make a giant T. Pretty straightforward. Up here, I would like you to write the word rectangle. And on this side, I would like you to write the word square. And then you are going to go on a hunt around your house looking for things that are rectangles and things that are squares, and you are going to list them here. So for example, in my house, I'm looking around, I'm like, oh, oops, I'll pick that up later. This light socket is a rectangle. So I would say my light, not socket, switch. My light switch is a quadrilateral. Squares are harder to find. So I see, oh, I also have some pictures here, but look at this. I have a picture right here that's actually a square. So I'm going to say my haunted mansion picture. And I'm going to write that under the square. And you're going to go around your house and you're going to find as many rectangles and as many squares as you can. I'm going to pick up the whiteboard I knocked over. So today we learned all about two-dimensional objects, which are flat objects, and we learned specifically about quadrilaterals. I'm going to grab my other whiteboard now. We learned about rectangles that have 4 sides and 4 vertices, and squares that have 4 sides, 4 vertices too, special kind of rectangle, but squares also have all of their sides are the same length. So, as I said, you are going to take your T chart, or however you choose to list it is perfectly fine, but this is just kind of an easy way to do it. And you're going to walk around your house and you're going to find as many rectangles and as many squares as you can. Happy hunting.